What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Today I'm going to do something that I rarely ever do, which is I'm going to upload the same content on two different channels. I'm also going to upload this on my Mocha's Ladies Lounge, my channel specifically for the women, and I'm also going to upload it here, my poet channel, for men and women to congregate, because there's just so much tied into this controversy surrounding Diddy or Sean Combs or Daddy Love, Puff, whatever you want to label him as, but nevertheless, it was just too much trying to do two different contents addressing this matter. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to only address this one time for both channels. So this will be posted on my Mocha's Ladies Lounge as well. So I wanted to get into this right away. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Anything I say in this content is based off of my own opinion for educational and entertainment purposes only. Let me start off by saying that all suspects, everyone involved, is innocent until proven guilty. So it has not been confirmed as of this moment if all of these charges against Mr. Combs is valid, but we all pretty much know, even Ray Charles can see, this is not a good look for him. He's really dug himself into a deep grave with all of these charges that have been brought up against him. And we all knew that it was just a matter of time. We just didn't know the day, the hour, or, when the hammer was going to come down. But we're surprised, but we're not shocked, because we knew this day was coming. And no one is not more shocked than Diddy himself. You have to realize, Diddy did not know, he was not mentally or physically prepared to go in yesterday. He thought he would have been going in today. And they abruptly, arrested him at his hotel, and he was not prepared for it. He knew it was coming eventually, but he did not expect it to be right then and there on the spot. Just imagine you sitting down, having some breakfast, having some coffee. You know you're going to have to go to court. You know you got this situation in which you're going to have to answer to all of these charges, but you figure you got a little time to kind of really still mentally prepare yourself just for a little while. And all of a sudden he comes busting in through your door. These officers, knocking on your door, and you thinking it's maybe your customer service, or you're thinking maybe it's room service or something, only for it to be police standing there saying you're under arrest. And I'm sure this really floored him, because at the end of the day, whether we like him or not, Diddy is a human being. So I know that really knocked him off his high horse when he was arrested right then and there on the spot. Didn't get a chance to process it, didn't get a chance to mentally prepare. There was no preparation. And anytime you're abruptly put in a situation and your life, is in the hands of the law, it really changes your whole outlook on life. So y'all, right now, this is where Diddy is. He's currently, incarcerated. And this is what he woke up to this morning. Okay, this is what he woke up to this morning. He woke up to the reality of not being in his mansion, not being able, to wake up in his king-size bed, go to his bathroom, wash his face, make himself a cup of coffee, have, some bagel and eggs, grits, whatever for breakfast, and, not being able to go outside and go to your cars and take a ride somewhere, take a drive somewhere. This is his new home until trial. Okay? And he fought with all his might to not have to go to jail until trial, because anybody who's been dealing with the jail system knows. I've gone through this multiple times with inmates that were told one date, only for it to get close to that date and for them to extend it or push it back. And it's very, very frustrating when you're told you're going to get, you're going to see the judge on the 15th, only for it to be the 13th. And you're prepared 2 days from then. Okay, I'll be glad when this is over. I hope they give me my charges so I get over with. Or, they go ahead and let me know if I get bail or not. Only to be told, okay, the judge pushed it back till 3 months from now. So this is the part that sucks about trial, because it never comes exactly when you expect it to. And because because this case is so overwhelming and there's so many individuals involved, because if anybody thinks for a second that Diddy did all of this by himself, and we're going to go into them charges, you are sadly mistaken. Yes, Diddy was the HNIC. He was the chief of all of this chaos, but he did not do it without any soldiers, without any slaves. Let me just say slaves, because at least soldiers are going to stand up for what they believe in. But slaves, on the other hand, are just known to do whatever their master says for them to do. And we know in the industry that Diddy was the master and the mastermind within the dark side of the industry. So any, individuals he had on his team, they would only be extended any type of privilege to be in the midst or in the company of Diddy only if they were willing to get down the way he wanted them to get down. If you was the type of person that you would buck Diddy and check Diddy, put him in his place, nah man, I don't think that's right, that goes against my morals, you would not be accepted in his circle. So trust and believe that the majority of individuals in his circle were people he knew who was going to do exactly what he said do. And this is what happens when you worship celebrities and you idolize them, and you make them your God. And that's exactly what happened. Diddy thought he was God, and all of his servants underneath him treated him as such. And this is the reason why Diddy has been able to get away with all the things he has done for such an extensive amount of time, and no one ever did anything. No one ever challenged him, because when you're trying to go up against a Goliath in the industry, and Goliath is the giant, for David of Goliath, right? Diddy was that Goliath of the industry. He was big, not as far as, physique-wise, okay, not that I know of, right? He wasn't no, 10 foot, 12 dude, 720 pounds or whatever. He was just big as far as his reputation of being dark. And people knowing that in the event, if you dare to try Diddy, there would be some various heinous consequences that you was going to get dealt with. So I believe a lot of people feared Diddy more than they respected him. They feared him. Just a little bit we have seen on Making of the Band, seeing his outbursts, seeing the way he screams and yells at people. Not only that, the threats he would make as far as being able to jeopardize and sabotage anybody's career that tried him, that dared went up against him. He had a lot of people under his thumbnail. Okay? So this is the reason why so many people was quiet when they saw what was going on. This is the reason why people seen things out of order. They seen and witnessed um, Diddy doing a lot of unethical, unlawful, immoral things, and everybody just stand by, not because they liked it, not because they didn't see anything wrong with it, but simply because they feared him. And you know what? This happens all the time in any system. It could be any type of organization, whether if it's gang related, whether if it's law enforcement, any type of organization in which there's a system in which if anybody goes against that machine, if anybody goes against that system, you will be exterminated. The same thing if you are a nurse and you're working for a hospital or a clinic, and you see that doctor doing a lot of unethical things to his patients. You see that he's overcharging them. You see that he's doing a lot of insurance fraud, so he can capitalize, him and his practice can capitalize off of patients. You see other nurses that are doing unethical things, having an affair with the doctor showing a favoritism. All of these things, this is an everyday occurrence. I don't care where you work. I don't care what type of organization you're under. Anytime you are in a system in which you are up against those heavy hitters, those CEOs, those doctors, those supervisors, directors, people who have a lot of influence and a large impact on how your life can be affected, the moment you challenge them, you call them out, you bring their wrongdoing to their attention, guess what? They got to exterminate you. A lot of people have lost good jobs. A lot of people have lost their livelihood, lost their living of being able to provide and take care of their family. Why? Because they went up against a machine. Getting back out of this cell picture, but I'm going to end up going back to it sooner than later, right? This is what happened. So for everybody wondering why is everybody coming out now, no one was dare crazy enough to challenge the diddler. And you yourself may be on a job right now where you see a lot of unethical practices going on. And you want to say something so bad, you know it's not right. You want to report your supervisor. You want to report your coworker. But you know if you do, that's going to put your livelihood in jeopardy. Diddy had a lot of people on his payroll. People had a lot of people, under his spell, as far as them depending on him for income, depending on him to sustain a career, however long that may last, because we all know none of the artists that ever signed for Bad Boy have any longevity or nothing to show for. He had a lot of slaves. He had a lot of slaves on his camp. People that feared him. People that just knew, just do what you say do, because they did not want no smoke. Because Diddy had no problem letting you know that he stood on business in the event anybody tried him or challenged him. Going up against Diddy was going up against a whole machine. This is the reason why people sat there, people going in on the bodyguards. Why are you coming out now? You've been saying X, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Why are you coming out now? Because you have to realize a lot of these individuals, they had families to support. They had bills to pay. Once you make a certain amount of income, and unless you're the type of person you're willing to stand for whatever is right, damn if it means losing your house, means if you're not able to pay your light bill, means if it's not being able to provide your children. And you've had some people who have done it. It's been a couple of bodyguards and people who worked under Diddy, and it came a point when the money didn't matter anymore. They got tired of being disrespected, treated like slaves, basically, being treated like dogs in order to preserve an image or preserve a lifestyle. There was some people who walked away, but most of them didn't. Not when you are depending on your savior, the devil himself, Diddy the devil, you're not going to challenge him. You're just not going to, especially if you witness what happened to other people who have challenged, people who've been unalived for exposing, people who got blackballed to where they could not get signed with anyone else, to where now you got to work out white crystals because, nobody wants to sign you once Diddy puts that label on you. Don't F with her, don't F with him. Ask Pam from the group Total, who had to work out White Castle. Not because now that I know of, not because she did something to him, but once Diddy has gotten what he wanted out of his artists, he trashes you. He discards you. And Pam from the group Total with Keisha Kima, many other artists, Young Jock, that was group Total. Young Jock, Shine, anybody who's been signed to Diddy knows that 112. Faith Evans knows that once he has gotten all of what he could produce off of you, he discards you. Diddy is a vampire. He will suck the blood out of anyone who he feels is under his captivity. Whether you are under his captivity as an artist, whether you are up under his captivity as his girlfriend, whatever, or his statue, whatever position you put yourself in with Diddy, Diddy is going to make sure he spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially drains you. Why? Because you have some people that was put on this earth, that was sent by the devil himself, and the mission that Diddy was granted from the devil himself was to specifically devour anyone that he felt was weak, anyone that he felt like was codependent. He was put on this earth to kill, steal, and destroy. Whether if that means killing as far as unaliving you physically or unaliving you spiritually. Many men and women, he told, they won't be nothing without him. That is that narcissistic ninja behavior of, I can destroy you if you ever protect yourself from me. If you ever try to defend yourself from me, I will devour you. Like the lion, like the lion that I am, in this case, like the snake that I am. What do snakes do when they come across or they approach a weak prey? Something they know they can easily eat and devour. What does he do? What does the snake do? They slither their way to their prey. And they may not even lash out at you right at that moment. He'll lift his head and you'll start seeing his tail rattling. And as the prey is standing there knowing they're about to get devoured, he doesn't make it easy. He don't do it instantly right away, where they don't have to prepare for the pain. Because having to prepare for an attack is will give you more anxiety compared to when somebody just attacks you immediately and you don't see it. You're not prepared for it. So Diddy is that snake that will rear its ugly head and will just pause and look at you and just terrify you for a little while before it takes its aim to attack and sink its veins into you. And that's what he does. And once he strikes, he's putting all of his venom into his prey until he poisons that prey to the point where that prey doesn't even have the strength to fight back. If If you ever watch any National Geographic videos, whether you see whether you see a lion attacking its prey, a snake attacking its prey, in most instances when a snake is getting attacked, it's about that animal sinking their teeth so deep into the prey, in which the prey gives up fighting. You ever seen a lion attack another animal, and once that lion gets his teeth in that animal, and you see the animal is kicking and kicking, fighting, trying to get away from him, fighting for his life, and slowly you notice the prey is not kicking as hard as it used to. The prey is not moving. You just start seeing the life slowly but surely diminishing from that prey once that lion has sunk his teeth, because now something has ruptured in that prey to where that prey no longer has any strength to fight back. So what does the prey do? The prey lays there lifeless because his life has been taken. So once the prey's life has been taken, now this gives that lion full advantage to keep feasting and eating his prey. And not only does that lion starts feasting and eating his prey, who is now there lifeless, so does his other lions. He brings his other lions on to join in and to help him finish devouring that prey. That is how Diddy operates. Anyone who comes into contact with him, you automatically become his prey. Whether you become his prey as his girlfriend, like Cassie and other women, and Kim Porter, rest in peace to her. Whether you encounter him as his girlfriend, as an employee, as an artist, or as just someone he could use. Once you become prey, eventually he's going to sink so much of himself into you to where eventually you're not going to have enough life or bite in you to fight back. That's what happened with Cassie. That's what happened with all artists. This is why nobody came forth and exposed them. And when Cassie finally had the courage to come forth and air him out, it was only because she found and discovered the power, and even more so, she had a strong support system in which she was no longer his prey that he can keep at his will. And unless you've been one of those individuals who have been fortunate enough to come from up under the demonic spell of Diddy himself, you were going to basically remain hostage. So, getting into this whole situation at hand, Diddy has been arrested as of yesterday, which was the 17th, I believe. Make sure, because these dates have been coming really, really fast, right? So Diddy has finally been arrested, and of course, the records have been, I believe, unsealed. And a lot of people was wondering why did they arrest Diddy so abruptly? And why they couldn't just wait till one more day? All they had was one more day, right? Yeah, he was arrested yesterday, which was on the 17th. They just had one more day. Let me tell you why. When you're dealing with the Goliath in the industry, like Diddy, you cannot procrastinate, because the closer it got, the more relentless Diddy became, okay? He became more and more relentless, to the point desperation started sitting in. And when desperation starts sitting in, you'll start doing desperate things. So Diddy, basically feeling defeated and feeling as if he's on his last leg, Diddy basically started coming for everyone. Coming for everyone who he felt had some type of involvement in the arrest or the charges that was going to go down. So Diddy, being a Goliath of the industry, he's not used to being told no. He's not used to people having power or leverage over him. So being in a situation in which you are used to having power, that is what you're going to always use. Not understanding that the dynamics have changed. The power and the leverage you used to have because of such a large army with all of these charges that are being brought against you. You don't have that same leverage of power that you used to have. But you have to realize for Diddy, it's a mental thing. He's not used to being conquered. He's not used to being denied. So what he was doing was he was trying to make his final rounds, influencing witnesses, trying to bribe witnesses, threatening witnesses. He did it with Don recently, with the group Black Money, Don and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. Recently he called 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. Then she had 54 or 50 calls from him. Now he's doing this knowing that he was going to have to turn himself in eventually. So with all of that going on, the law got smart and said, you know what, we cannot take any chances with this dude. We cannot take any chances with Diddy the Devil. We don't need him to go out with a bang, because at this point, he feels like he has nothing to lose. At this point, the closer it gets, the stronger reality is setting in, and the stronger reality sets in, that is the more that Diddy is going to mentally start getting angry with the fact that no one is giving in to his demands. So when a person reaches that level of desperation where they're not being heard, they become dangerous. Okay? You got to realize Diddy is the Goliath in the industry. He's used to having yes men. And when I mean by yes men, I'm talking about women too. He's used to people catering to him. He's used to telling people, hey, I'm going to give you 50,000, 80,000 for you to go handle this. Go unalive this. Put in work for me. We in some desperate times, y'all, with the economy, with finances, with these bills. Nobody wants to be in poverty. Nobody wants to struggle. And guess what? Diddy knows that better than anybody. Let me see. Let me tell y'all, the greedy always capitalize off of the needy. Matter of fact, I got a scripture for y'all. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear. Right? And a raging bear. So is a wicked ruler over the poor people. What are poor people, right? I'm not talking about poor people that are just the homeless people you see in the street, that are dirty, look like they haven't washed in weeks at a time. Poor meaning people that are depending on you for a need. They are depending on you for a need. And in this instance, this scripture fits Diddy because he is that roaring lion, meaning he's very aggressive. He is that raging bear. Okay, meaning if I got to devour you to get what I want, I'm going to do that. So is a wicked ruler over the poor people, and he represents the epitome of that wicked ruler, that roaring lion, that cobra snake that I mentioned to y'all earlier about. And he preys off of people who he knows are in need of something. There's more than one way for you to be poor. You can not only be poor financially, to where you depend on, somebody for money. You can also be poor mentally, meaning you're without. You feel like you're without love. You're deprived of being loved. So guess what? You go seek for love. Diddy capitalizes off people's needs. Whether you needing him for popularity, just being around him getting clout, whether you needing him for money, whether you needed him to be signed so you can showcase your talent. He's always preyed off of um needy individuals. He's always preyed off the needy. So if you are needy, if you needy for money, needy for a campaign, needy for attention, guess what? Diddy's going to use all of that to his advantage, and he has. And this is the reason why so many people feared him, so many people scared of him. That's why everybody's coming all out now. Everybody feels safe now. Diddy is no longer a threat. You know what I mean? To people's livelihood and well-being. It's sad, but the Goliath had to be brought down for people to feel safe to come around. He had to be brought down, y'all. Had he never been brought down and exposed, these same people that's telling everything, they wouldn't have said a single thing. But this had to happen. It wasn't going to happen any other way. This was the only way he was going to get exposed. So it's not that, and I will say, I do admit in some instances, it is a money grab move. But guess what? If you think about it, a lot of times we attract our own kind. Because Diddy was greedy and capitalized off him for his own needs, his victims, in a sense, they had their own level of greed, which is why, they got close to Diddy in the first place. And guess what? Just like he capitalized off of them, whether if it was their career, whether if it was their body, whether if it was their lack of knowledge, now they want to capitalize off of him now that he's down. The best way to get the best way to capitalize off a weak man is to catch him when he's already down. I mean, the only way to capture a strong man or a beast is to capture him when he's down. If he's already drowning, you want him to stay drowning, and you don't want him coming back up, you got to keep pouring water on him. That's what all of these individuals are doing. That's why all of these lawsuits came out. That's why all of these people are now bringing up things that they have gone through with Diddy, because he's down now. So they're not threatened by him like they were when he was up and able to defend himself. It is no different if you walk in the neighborhood and somebody pit bull runs out the yard and attacks you and attempts to attack you. And you have a gun on you, you're going to defend yourself. You're going to unalive that pit bull. You ain't going to care who it belongs to. And while that pit bull is down, you're going to run and flee. And that's exactly that's what it is. For everybody, everybody want to come out now. Everybody got something to say now. Why they ain't said it then? You're on a job right now. You're in a position right now. It ain't even got to be a job. It could be a family member. You see your daddy doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. You see your mama. You see your son. You ain't saying nothing and you know it's wrong. Let something bad happen. Now you want to say, well, we've been kind of having problems. Well, he been kind of doing that. That's the way of the world. It's not just those who surrounded Diddy. Nobody's not going to say anything to a good city fan. You on a job right now. You see all kind of stuff unethical. You don't want no smoke. You don't want to lose your job, so you're going to turn a deaf ears. You're going to turn a side eye. If you was on Diddy payroll, you was going to turn a side eye. Nobody wants to go back to eating spam sandwiches and pork and beans. You get used to a certain amount of money, and you've always been able to provide and take care of your family. You learn to laugh and play along and go along to get along with the Goliath, with Diddy the devil. That's what a lot of them was doing. And the thing about it is, the crazy part is, which I already knew, but what it is being manifested. Even people who was rolling with Diddy, they don't even like him. They never liked him. And see, now this is where he has to be even more careful, because he don't know who is in his circle is reporting more information to the feds, to the law, because he has so many enemies. One thing about rulers or these Goliaths, they have more enemies on their hands than they could ever imagine. But because they're so arrogant and egotistical and bigoted, they drop their guard down. And it be their main man, it be their main peoples, it be the main ones who act like they so scared of them. It be the main ones, excuse my French, dick riding for him, and acting like they ride or die. These are the same individuals right now that are throwing him up under the bus. They did not like Diddy. They just like the perks of being with Diddy. And he's going to find out. Well, he probably knows that now. He thought he had everybody in control, and what it was people were just tolerating you so they could survive. Nobody liked you. How many of us have worked for supervisors we don't like? Have had to go on jobs and pull hours. No, we don't like the people we have to work with. Because it's about survival. But guess what? Once that supervisor is fired, and they come to you and say, hey, what did you like about working for so-and-so? What you did like? You gonna tell it all, because guess what? The threat is not there anymore. Let that supervisor who you can't stand, that CEO or that manager, get exposed and get exploited for something on the job, and that person goes up under investigation. You're gonna tell it all. Why? Because that person is not a threat to your livelihood anymore. See, Diddy is not a threat to anybody's livelihood, so hell yeah, everybody's going to snitch on him now, okay? So we could debunk that. So let's get into talking about these charges, right? This indictment, all of this wonderful stuff. Let me tell y'all, this page is longer. This page is longer than my 16 hours that I used to work at the jail. That's how long this indictment letter is. That's how many pages. It's darn near thick like the Holy Bible. When I say feds are on his ass, and the feds didn't collect all this information alone. Diddy has a lot of enemies. It was people right in the same camp, right on his payroll, that's been working and cooperating with the feds. Listen, people come work for you and not like you and can't stand you, can't wait for the day your whole empire goes down. Diddy has been rubbing people the wrong way for many, many years. A lot of people are tired of him and been tired. And had it not been for Cassie putting out this video, this man would have still not had any remorse. And to this day, he still doesn't have any remorse. He's just upset with the fact that he got caught. He's not upset for his actions with that dry ass apology he tried to, give to Cassie, which we knew is not genuine and authentic. It's just not in him. It's not in the man to really be loving or caring. Diddy is a straight up narcissist. The only I can say, let me put it this way, if I had to say there was anyone he genuinely cared about, it's his children. I think his children are the only individuals that may get any real genuine love from Diddy. And guess what though? Even being a child of his, if either one of those children went against the grain of Diddy, don't think he wouldn't disown his own children who would not go along with his program. Because Diddy is that type of dude. He's a narcissist. And guess what? Fathers can be narcissists. So, other than that, anyone outside of those children, you was not going to get any real loyalty or loving or care. But where he's failed his children is by continuing with this lifestyle um, whether he knowingly or was unaware of the consequences all of his actions are going to have on his children. I don't believe that his children are probably, now his sons, that's a little up in the air. If they got some kind of involvement, I'm sure they'll go down too. But they're not going to deal with that till later. Right now, they want the head. They want the head honcho, which is Diddy. I think if something is with his sons or any type of involvement, that's going to be like much later on down the line. That ain't going to be no time soon. By the time Christian or I forgot the other one name. But his sons. I doubt it's going to be a minute for they come after them for anything, right? They want the shark, not the guppies, okay? So the guppies got a minute. You get what I'm saying? So let me just look up his son's name, because I forgot. I know he has that one that looks just like him. Then he has, 3 daughters. Okay, King Combs. Okay, so there's 2. Okay, I thought I was almost got them mixed up, because I know T.I. has a son named King, and I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so King Combs and Justin Combs or whatever. So hopefully his sons aren't caught up in any type of chaos, but we'll find that out sooner than later. But anyway, I want to get to the indictment. Like I said, it's way too many pages. It's way too long. I'm not going to read every single page. I'm just going to hit on the main points just to show y'all that Diddy has really dug a deep grave for himself. So let's go ahead and get right into it, right? Okay, so, Lord, it's, okay. So far, this is just 14 pages, but for what I've been hearing from multiple content creators is way more pages than this, which good, because this is already too much within itself. Okay, so across the United States versus Sean Combs, known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, PD, Love is the defendant. Okay, so this is an overview of the charges that Diddy is going to be looking at. Again, I'm not reading every single thing. The defendant, known as Diddy, we just going to say Diddy for now to keep it simple. The defendant, Diddy, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and to conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, robbery, and obstruction of justice. All of that alone shows y'all how much fire this man is under. Okay? And it further entails that Diddy did not act alone. He did not do any of this by himself. Okay? He did not act alone at all. He had plenty of slaves under his dictatorship, whom he paid and persuaded to do all of his dirty deeds. Listen, devils don't operate alone. They always recruiting weak individuals, which we consider in therapy as flying monkeys, to aid them in their dirty work. Okay? So, there's going to be more people that's going to get exposed. And most of it is going to be people within that industry. I'll tell you that now. All the heavy hitters. People you never even imagine. All of these celebrities that y'all idolize and worship, that y'all speak so highly of. A lot of y'all who idolize these celebrities, a lot of y'all gonna really be hurt. Y'all gonna have some hurt feelings. Because y'all just really swear your favorite rapper ain't capable of that. You really swear your favorite singer ain't capable of that. And you do not know any of these people. You only know what they present themselves to be. Moving on. All right. Diddy operated his businesses headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, other corporate entities, among other things, record labels, recording studio, apparel line, alcoholic spirits business, marketing agency, television network, and media company. All right, so these are all his, businesses and other, entities that, he also was in ownership over. At all times to this indictment, Combs, known as Puff Daddy, Diddy, the defendant engaged in a persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs or others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. See, this is why I tell y'all, this is why so many people would never come out and expose him. This is what we are just now finding out, okay, as the public. This is what he's been doing to all of his slaves, his minions, that was underneath his power. This is what he was doing to them. Okay? And if y'all really think about it, another reason I strongly believe, just to pump the brakes right quick, that Diddy was participating in all of these other immoral organizations, this sex trafficking and everything. Let's be honest. Nobody's not making money off of artists like that anymore. Okay? Let's just be for real. Everybody that Diddy has ever signed, he's not making money in music like that no more. That's just, social media killed that, streaming killed that. So Diddy being a mastermind and Diddy being the king of greed, what he did was he started doing a bunch of other businesses on the side. And see, sex trafficking is one of those highly business ventures that brings in a lot of profit. Well, you have a lot of millionaires that have profited specifically off of sex trafficking. That is one of the highest paying type of businesses. And I don't say that with pride and honoring because it's very disgraceful and disheartening to me. But most of these billionaires, these individuals that's up in the high echelon, they don't do that little petty money. They're not going to just be selling, music. That's pennies for these heavy hitters in the industry. They're not making a lot of money off of selling clothes like, Sean had the Sean Combs wear. That's not where the money is coming from. I always wonder how Puffy was able to have all of these expensive, extravagant mansions when he has not been making a lot of money off of just Bad Boy, his apparel, and the liquor brand that he was once co-partnering with, which is what started all of this. He pissed off the beverage company that he was partnershiping with, pissed them off, and all of a sudden everything with Cassie and all of that came out. A lot of people saying that probably played a significant role too. You cannot go up against the machine. He basically, matter of fact, let me just see if I can go ahead and look it up right quick. Let me just look it up right quick. Okay, so I know it was Diego. And okay, so he was once upon a time he called himself out in a lawsuit against the liquor giant Diageo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Now this is when all the grits really started hitting the fan. Is when he filed a lawsuit against them, alleging them of being racist when it came to his liquor brands. So the lawsuit was filed in New York and claims Diego North America star Coons Ciroc vodka and DeLeon tequila brands of resources, depriving them of the same attention showered on brands linked with white celebrities. So this what kind of got the ball rolling. He tried to pull that racist card, and I could be wrong, but that's when the grits hit the fan for him. Okay? So, Diageo has denied the accusations of Carl Coons suit a sham action. The spirits giant, which is heavy hitters in the industry, I say you don't want to piss off the heavy hitters, filed legal documents calling for a judge to dismiss Coons' suit. In his legal filings, Diego labels the artist's claims as false and reckless and accused him, Diddy, of filing a lawsuit in an effort to extract additional billions from the company. So what ended up happening was, I guess, Coons tried to seek billions in damages and all of that. Diego attempted to end his deals with Mr. Coons is like firing a whistleblower who calls out racism, Houston says. It's cynical and transparent. Anyway, Coons, who also gone by Diddy, said in a complaint he intends to seek billions of dollars in damages. So see, he pissed off a heavy hitter, okay? He's been in partnership with this company for a long time, since 2007, and basically, he tried to get greedy, and it backfired, and it ended up in the long run. He ended up having to just go ahead and drop the suit. Okay, so just to put y'all up on game, right? And we're going to show this video in a minute, because it's something else I want to point out in this indictment. But anyway, that was one of the things that kind of ignited the downfall that was to come, because he pissed off a heavy hitter. Heavy hitter got other heavy hitters in high places. So it's just very coincidental around the time he sued this company, the Cassie video came out, and it just pretty much rolled downhill from there. So this is the part I wanted to show y'all, right? Because I'm not reading this whole indictment. I don't want to bore y'all to death. There's plenty of other bloggers doing it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave the link in the comment section, so you got all day or all night at your own leisure to read every tiny detail. Okay, physical abuse by Coons, the defendant, was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance in Los Angeles hotel of March 2016, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. Okay, so let's just play that beating footage for those who don't want to believe why. So many people were scared of him. So many people was intimidated by him. Let's show you why. Let's show you why no one will come forth. None of Diddy's puppets will come forth. And I'm not going to play the sound, because I don't want on CNN striking me, that channel. So does it look like, do y'all see why people were scared to leave him? Look how Cassie tried to leave. Dragging, pulling. Just like the indictment says, extremely intoxicated. But whatever the case was, He's showing this is his character. This is why no one told on him. This is why no one tried to leave or escape from him. She's trying to leave. All the people were saying, why wouldn't she leave? She tried to leave. Look what happened. Diddy thinks he owns you. Once he does something for you, he owns you. Throwing things just like the indictment papers are saying. And I just want to show y'all that. Because a lot of people can't understand why nobody told, why nobody said nothing. And this is just one that we saw. What about the other women we didn't see? And it didn't say assaulted woman. It says assaulted women, meaning multiple. We witnessed Cassie's, but most likely what he did to Cassie, he did with everyone. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Coombs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Coombs' violence was not also limited to women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. The man had a lot of power over your livelihood, over your career. Only way he didn't have any power or leverage is if you did not work for him and you never built a relationship or some type of bond with him. That was the only way you were safe. If you worked for Diddy, was employed for Diddy, had a relationship with Diddy, you are not safe. Defendant Coombs used the Coombs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. Sex industry makes a lot of money. You'll be surprised how many billionaires and millionaires will travel to other countries just so that they can have sex with children and take advantage of women because that's the money maker. The sex industry is a money maker, and I'm not just talking about just some back page where you find Keisha in the hood and you give her $200-300 and you go in an alley in the back of your car or at the Motel 6 in the hood. That's only $50 with the cigarette burns and roaches or whatever, and call it a day. Millionaires, billionaires, they have the highest fantasies, and that's sex trafficking. They don't want to do that ordinary sex. We're talking about millionaires and billionaires who can have anything they want. And anytime somebody's in a position to have anything they want, eventually they're going to always want something different. So let's get to the lesson let's get to the main issue at hand, right? Diddy has been arrested and he is seeking bail. He even tried to bribe a judge with $50,000. And again, Diddy is using what he knows, which is power and money. Power and money have always been the sources that Diddy has used to gain people, to gain power over people, to gain power over ownership and businesses. That is all he knows. Not understanding now that the very thing that he has always used to get what he wants is no longer an option for him. He no longer has the power he used to have. He's tainted and scarred his reputation when that video with Cassie went viral. None of the brands, or advertisement companies wanted any type of association or involvement with Diddy. Okay? Once a man's name is tarnished, everything goes downhill from there. It really does. And that's what happened. People started pulling the plug, losing vote, uh, TV network, clothing brand, anything with his name is bad business. And that's why I'm hoping his children are covered. Because unfortunately, the sins of a parent in some situations, especially when it comes to business, um, it can be very damaging. It's very damaging. And of course, it's not their fault. And I'm not saying, particularly with his daughters and stuff. But there are going to be other situations in which people are going to try to capitalize off of his children. They are going to be aware that they are in a space in which they are going to be limited due to their father's downfall, and people may capitalize off of that. You may have other Diddy's, undercover Diddy's, that may capitalize off his daughters and try to take advantage of them during their youth, try to take advantage of their femininity. Same thing with his sons. If they are fortunate to escape any charges, his sons are going to definitely be held to a standard in which their father put a bad name. Their father. I'm getting brain freeze right. Their sons is basically going to have to face the ridicule of being part of his bloodline. All of that comes with the territory, because you know how evil people are. Somebody's going to always be there to remind you. I mean, his son, oldest son King, they already call him Diddy Jr. And so far as we know, I mean, there's been some accusations, but he hasn't, had any involvement for now that we know in any sex trafficking. And already, because he looks like him, he's affiliated to him and related to him, and he pretty much acts like his dad, his persona. All of that can be used against him, and that's why as parents you have to be careful of the decisions you make, especially when your family is depending on you. If you get caught up and you fall, everything behind you is going to fall. It's like a domino effect, right? So, Diddy thought he would have been able to get bail. And the judge said, no, absolutely not. You will not be getting any bond. You will not be making bail. Now, as of today, I heard that he's trying, or his lawyers are trying to see if the judge would at least grant him bail with conditions. Now, this is yet to be confirmed if the judge is going to consider that. In my mere opinion, I really don't think the judge is going to give him bail with conditions, because Diddy is too big. He's too big of a monster, too big of a threat. Sir, what makes you think you're going to get bail bond when you have been reaching out to individuals who you know are trying or have pending lawsuits against you? You have goons out here that you probably still have on your payroll. Any judge that has good sound judgment, knowing who Diddy is, and all of these charges basically are showing the type of man he is as far as his character, who would trust to have someone of his personality, of his status, who would trust Diddy to be out in public amongst anybody under these conditions, especially knowing what he has to face? Listen, the closer it would have got, listen, it would have made a difference if they would have waited till later. If they would have waited till a year from now to get Diddy. Diddy's anxiety I believe was going to push him to do even more crazy things. The longer they would have kept him out, I believe the closer it would have got to that time, Diddy would have been losing his mind even more. Just knowing what he had to face, they could not prepare him. They had to catch him off guard. They had to surprise him. You can't let somebody with a master demonic mind like that. You can't prepare the devil. You can't tell the devil when you plan on coming after him. The man got nothing to lose. He's quite selfish if you ask me. He ain't thought about his kids. He ain't thought about his empire. He ain't thought about nothing. And just to show y'all, let me see. In fact, pause this. Why is someone in the feds leaked this video of all the baby lotion and lubrication that was in Diddy's mansion? Who in the feds leaking evidence like this? They really trying to take Diddy down. 1,000 bottles of baby oils is ridiculous. Let me tell you something. Johnson & Johnson, they can retire now. If Johnson & Johnson shuts down today, they are good to go thanks to Diddy. Just want to share that with y'all. So this was going on. He's not most likely going to get any bond. He's not going to get bail. He's too much of a risk. His status, he's too big. He's a high risk factor. Even if and it's been mixed views on him being a flight risk. Some people don't think he's a flight risk. Some people don't. Some people do think he's going to freak out and do the Russell Simmons. Either way, that's a high probability. Because when people know power and eventually wealth is going to be stripped from them, just mentally knowing that will lead you to make some very rash decisions to where he probably would not flee. But if people keep coming at him, more lawsuits, more scandals, eventually he's going to feel like, you know what, I need to get the hell away from here. He see the power ain't working, the money not working, he can't bribe. Eventually he would be more prone to fleeing. So the law basically did the right thing. They got to get this man off the street. Y'all can't think because Diddy has not shown y'all he's this real gangster. Y'all ain't seen him pull out no AKs and do drive-bys unaliving. The man is dangerous. If he not gonna do it, he gonna pay other people to do it. He has a master mind. This man been this way the majority of his life. They have to lock him up. He cannot be out here to influence, threaten, manipulate any more witnesses. Not only that, Diddy is still wealthy as of right now, okay? He still have enough money to pay people to put in work. Now, he not going to be crazy. He not going to be the trigger man. He not going to get his hands in it. But he damn sure going to pay other people to put all their hands in it. And Diddy is not the only one going down. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Other celebrities that y'all worship, men and women. Women sat right there participating. I don't know, allegedly 50 Cent baby mama, Daphne Joy. Now they trying to say Mary J. Blige was in on it. Listen, anybody, and all again, this is accusations, okay? All innocents or innocent until proven guilty. But I tell you one thing, if any of y'all participated in those freak-offs, y'all better start selling your houses, selling your cars. You better get up out the United States. You better do a Russell Simmons. Ain't no need of sitting here trying to be cute because you don't want it to look like you have something to do with it. If you know you did, it would only make sense to get the hell up out the United States. No need sitting here and waiting for the embarrassment. It's time to go. You messed up. It's going to be too expensive trying to get lawyers and trying to fight your claim. It's not working for Diddy. And Diddy may get so desperate, he's going to throw a lot of people up under the bus anyway, because he just gives me cowardly tendencies. He just gives me the vibe of the only time he wants to stand up to something is when he know he can't control it. Because he can't control this, I don't think he's going to stand up to it. I think he's going to throw everybody else up under the bus. R. Kelly had more heart than him. Okay? I don't think Diddy is strong. I don't think Diddy is going to be strong enough to handle this. This is a harsh reality. Anything you want, you got to wait for a guard. And any guard that's stupid enough to work in the jail or prison, wherever he may land, and look out and give him things so he could bribe them, listen. I hope anybody knows this man is bad business. Just helping Diddy out right now, doing a favor for him, you bring a curse to yourself. You can't accept no bribes. You can't accept no favor. Diddy is bad news. Diddy is sitting up in here right now. He's embarrassed. He's angry. And when I say angry, he's angry at everybody who turned on him as if he did not bring that to himself. All of this he brought to himself. I'm tired of people. Y'all just don't want to see the black man win. And why y'all don't have this energy for white folks and all. Listen, Diddy brought this upon himself. The man had everything. Everything. So I don't want to hear all these red pill points. And I ain't going to say all red pill, because everybody that do red pill, they not Diddy Muppets, okay? But what I'm saying is, let's stop making excuses. This got nothing to do with him being a black man. I want any man. I wanted Epstein to go down, and he did. I don't think Diddy is strong enough. I think Diddy, any opportunity, he may try to hurt himself. If he is in jail, they definitely better put him in. I know he's in protective custody. A star that big, they're not going to put him in general population. That is not going to happen. Not. That's too much of a liability. They don't want Diddy hurt before he gets to prison. Okay? Not only that, prisoners don't want no lawsuit. They don't want that type of smoke. They don't want none of that, right? Now, mind you, again, Diddy has a lot of enemies. So anybody who he's currently talking to, who he thinks he's ideally safe with, could very well be putting the feds on to everything he's saying and doing. If you think about it, that was an abrupt pickup. Why did they pick him up a day earlier? Somebody in Diddy's camp, one of his slaves, is snitching, y'all. And he's sitting in that jail right now racking his brains. Because you gotta remember, this man is used to getting everything he wants. He's not used to being denied. He's not used to being restricted. So, mind you, he's not here thinking about what he did wrong. He's not thinking about the victims he harmed. He's not thinking about how he violated Cassie. He ain't thinking about none of that. He's thinking about where did he go wrong as far as why did he trust the wrong people? He's not taking accountability. He's not thinking to himself, you know what, I should have never got myself in a situation. I should have never taken advantage of those women. I never should have drugged those guys, because he's been with guys too, from what I heard. I never should have ever physically assaulted Cat. He's nowhere on that level. Diddy is sitting up here thinking about who else can he hurt before he goes to trial. Who can he pay off to get rid of certain people? Who else can he bribe to get him out of this? Diddy is not thinking about nothing but how can I get myself out of this? And when you in these walls, you got all day to think. And like we out here in the real world, we can't stay focused on all our hardships and all of our whatever problems we got going on, because we're constantly moving about, we can't like stay fixated on it. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to pick the kids up from school, you got to go to work, you got to do laundry, you got to cook, you got to clean, you got to wash your car today, or whatever the case is. You know, you got some jobs you got to do. You can't sit and meditate on everything you did wrong. One thing about these four walls, my experience as a correctional officer, is that your mind becomes your own worst enemy, because all you're doing is sitting there and replaying when this happened, when that happened. Now you're thinking about everyone who could have possibly been in on it. Was it that nurse that brought me that medicine that could have reported me? Was it that waitress who brought me that glass of Moet that probably recorded me? His brain is on 1,000, and what's making him is angry is because he can't leave. This man is used to being in his mansion with all his cars. He's used to giving orders to his maids, orders to his employees. There's no one there who he can boss around, who he can give orders. He is with himself, and he is the devil. Imagine being with yourself, and yourself is the devil. See, this is how the enemy works. The enemy will set you up for failure. He will let you have all your heart's desires. He will let you have all your heart's desires. And after he done gave you everything you wanted, he discards you. Wait a minute. Didn't I say that about Diddy? Didn't I say with Diddy that he'll give you everything you want just as long as he can slave you? And the moment he done got everything he wanted out of you, he discards you. That's how the devil works. He will give you everything you want just to make you think you're winning. He'll give you everything you want because that's to keep you in slavery. And slavery to his greed. And slavery to his ego. And slavery to his sexual desires. This is what happens. This is what he's going to be waking up to every morning, every night. 3 meals. The only relief he'll have is he ain't got to share his room with anybody. So he ain't got to worry about, someone taking advantage of him or, So if I had to say anything, is that he don't have to worry about anybody bothering. And trust, they're gonna keep a close eye. And ain't gonna be no Epstein. They gonna want this man to answer to this. The system is not playing. But my thing is, if a man has tendencies of unaliving himself, he's gonna find a way to do it. Whether if it's with the blanket, ripping a blanket in half, and to where I've seen inmates take extensive measures in unaliving themselves. That's after we done took their shoestrings, making sure there's no rubber or elastic in the uniform, in the inmate uniform or jumpsuit. They would take some extensive measures. The worst thing is that Diddy is going to be alone with his thoughts. It's just his thoughts. It's just him and his thoughts. And there's nothing there to medicate it. He's not going to. The things that he uses as a supply to escape his demons, there's not going to be no liquor. There's not going to be no weed. There's not going to be no ecstasy pills. Nothing is there. So listen, Diddy is going to be detoxing of all of his demons as long as he's sitting there the whole time until his trial. He can't drink. He can't smoke. He can't use nothing to ease his mind. And in jail, you have to have a strong mind. Because let me tell you something. These walls start caving in on you. For those of you who don't think jail is a big deal, for those of you who think, oh, I can go in there, that's nothing. I can do it. Go in your bathroom for a whole hour and never leave. No. Go on. No, let me do it the right way. Go into your bathroom or your closet for 1 week. I bet half of you not even gonna make it a day. Go in your closet, only come out to use the bathroom and go right back in. Don't go to no refrigerator, don't go to no car, don't go grab your phone, look at no Facebook. Don't do none of that. Now, put a millionaire in this situation. Because see, us regular folks, we kind of used to going without. We kind of used to the struggle. That man not going to make it. Why y'all think he's fighting so hard to get bail? Why y'all think he tried to offer the judge $50,000? That man ain't built. And you know what? The biggest demons ain't built to handle the consequences. They real big when it comes to being devilish, but they real small when it comes down to, having an answer to their actions. That's where they cowered out. Only other advantage he may have, because he is a millionaire, so whoever he has on the outside, and I'm sure he still got some goons, he got a couple of people that's still supporting him and his children, they'll be able to make sure his commissary is constantly being supplied to him. Now, that doesn't mean, he's going to have a special menu. He's going to get just the exact same thing the other inmates are getting, except he may be able to get a little bit more. And even with that, in jail, you're only allowed to purchase a certain amount of commissary per inmate. So they can't get him 500 items. No, I'm sorry. Talk about 500. They can't send him no $5,000 worth of commissary. They only take up to a certain amount within a month. So just like regular inmates that's not on his level, he will only be entitled to get the same amount of boxers, shirts, commissary, whatever else that jail will provide for him. If he's on medication, the jail will be responsible of making sure he gets on his medication. They will allow him to make his phone calls. He definitely will get to make his phone calls. Only thing is, like any other inmate, they will be recorded. He says something dumb, he instructed one of his goons. He gonna have to pack light at this at this point. He gonna have to pack very light. They not playing with him. They are on his ass. Every phone call, trust. There's an officer listening in, because they know what Diddy is. They're not going to allow him to still be a shot caller from the jail. So basically, y'all, I'm getting ready to shut it down. I didn't, again, it's so much more details that can be added to this. But the main part for me was, I just wanted everybody to realize what Diddy is up against mentally, spiritually. I don't think he's going to be able to handle. I think he's going to fold. Diddy is not jail material. Okay, all those fancy pedicures and manicures, ain't no women up in there that you're going to be able to smash all kind of way, unless you have a weak female officer that's willing to lose her job. But for the most part, you definitely not going to have your way. His life is at an abrupt end. They're not going to let him out to get a bond with conditions. It's too much of a high risk factor. They want this case to go smooth. And I guarantee you, it's somebody in his own camp. It's somebody who's talking to him every day. The feds are using someone as pawn and making a deal, because nobody wants to go down with Diddy. It's somebody in his camp. Somebody ran their mouth. Somebody said something to make them realize, nah, we can't wait till the next day. We got to get him now. Now, you reaching out to your witnesses, trying to get them to recant their stories. No. And if they don't recant their stories, we can't say what's the next approach you'll take to get what you want. That's what's going on, guys. It's going to become more and more interesting. My heart definitely goes out to his children. His mother, I hope his mom, Janice, will be able to survive this, because Diddy is her only son, and Diddy has always been her financial overseer. I heard he tried to sell her mansion. He wasn't able to do that. I'm sure after a while, I'm surprised his assets. There's no lock on his assets. He probably got smart and put it in other people's names. But trust and believe feds, they still got more kinks to work out. This is just the beginning of his troubles, y'all. This picture right here should be a constant reminder. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful thinking because you done got away with something for a long time that it'll never come back to haunt you. It'll never come back to bite. Especially when you have an empire. And you have a lot of people depending on you. You are people's, you are the foundation of their livelihood. Now, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs behind this. His mother, his children, they're not going to be able to maintain the lifestyle the way he has been able to maintain it over these years. Hopefully his mom does not get sick behind this, because I know it's killing her as a parent. I'm not no fan of Diddy, but at the same time, that's somebody's son. So I could only imagine what Janice is going through. She had a close call not too long ago. She was hospitalized, I think like last month or something like that, and she was able to come right back out. This here is very disheartening. I feel for her and I feel for those children. But at the same time, he mistreated his mama. I heard he smacked his mom up a couple of times, and Gene Deal had to get on him and tell him, bro, that's your mama. The man been a devil a long time. Why are we acting surprised? And people, you know, they feeling some type of way. It is what it is, y'all. But leave y'all comment below. Hit that like button before y'all leave. Let me know what y'all think about this situation. What do y'all think the next thing that's going to come out of this? What other people you think can possibly be exposed? I have a few in my mind that I'm sure is going to get exposed. It's a lot of celebrities, man. I'm telling you, the whole industry has been grimy for years, and God is tired of people sit up here idolizing these celebrities. Y'all idolizing these millionaires, and he's going to make examples out of them by showing y'all through exposing them that, yeah, they got all this money, but they not clean in heart. They not clean in spirit. They have been sent on assignment. They sold to the devil. And what the devil does, when you have fulfilled your contract and he has gotten you to do all his dirty deeds and you carried them out successfully, and you accomplished all the demonic deeds that he assigned you, okay, he doesn't have a use for you anymore. The devil has gotten everything he wanted out of Diddy. He don't need him no more. Mission accomplished. Y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Bye.